Hey Total Gym addicts, in today's video I'm going to share with you every exercise that you can perform with the adjustable glide board on the Total Gym Evolve. Now there is one asterisk next to that statement. This is every exercise identified by Total Gym and listed in the user manual. In addition, both the training deck and the workout poster include indicators to show which exercises are compatible with the adjustable glide board. Now, I'm sure there's others, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to stick with what Total Gym has identified. In some cases, the adjustable glide board can make the exercise feel a little different and hit your muscles differently because of the change in the line of pull. The parallel surface can also improve strength, stability, and posture because of better alignment of your hips and spine. If you're interested in picking up the Total Gym Evolve, click the link in the video description to save an additional 10%. Now let's get started. Now for lateral exercises, or the side-facing exercises, this is where the Total Gym Evolve really shines. Having this horizontal glide board makes a big difference. You can have better posture, your hips are level with one another, and you have nice spinal alignment. Now when I have the glide board in the slanted position, you can see my hips aren't level with one another. This side is higher than this one, and I have a curve in my spine. The horizontal board keeps your body in better alignment, and overall it just feels more comfortable to do the exercise. So next I'm going to perform all the lateral facing exercises with the glide board in the horizontal position. Next up, exercises facing away from the vertical column. So whether I'm doing the chest press with the glide board horizontal or slanted, the exercise does feel about the same. The only thing that I really notice is that I'm able to sit up a little bit more upright when I have it in this horizontal position. The chest fly was similar to the chest press. The exercise felt great whether the glide board was slanted or in this horizontal position. The only difference, in this horizontal position, you can sit up a little bit more upright. Now this exercise was similar regardless of the position of the glide board. However, when the board was in this horizontal position, I noticed I felt the exercise a little bit more on the upper part of my chest and the front part of my shoulders. This one felt a little different as well. With the body in a horizontal position, I felt it more on the anterior deltoid or the front part of my shoulders. So for the front shoulder raise, I would say that the exercises do feel pretty similar whether the board is slanted or in this horizontal position. In the horizontal position though, you can sit up a little straighter, but with your legs off to the side, you kind of have to go out wider with your arms. So if you want to keep a more narrow position, keep the board slanted with your legs out on the board, then you'll have your arms and your shoulders more in alignment and not out quite as wide. But either exercise is effective. Again, another option that you saw me do was doing it in a kneeling position as well. So that's another option to keep your legs kind of out of the way so you can maintain a little bit more narrow position on your shoulder raises. For the serve, I would have the same comments as on the front raises. In the horizontal position, you can sit up a little bit taller, but again, your legs do get in the way because you'll have them off to the side. If you want that a little bit more narrow position of your arms, you could keep it slanted with your legs out in front of you on the glide board. The lying tricep extension felt great whether the glide board was on an angle or horizontal. I didn't notice too much of a difference. For the hamstring pull, I would say the exercise feels the same whether you've got the board slanted or in this horizontal position. However, I would say it's easier to get on and off your glide board when it's in that slanted position when you're doing the hamstring pull. Now for the pullover crunch, I found it a little bit more challenging with the board on this horizontal position. It would be similar if you were doing like a sit-up or a crunch on the floor. When it's slanted, you think that might be a little bit more challenging because you're flexing over more, but actually because of that slant in the glide board, it gives you a little assistance to get up and over. So again, difference here, a little bit more challenging with the board in the horizontal position. Again, similar to the pullover crunch, the oblique crunch is a little bit more challenging with this board in a horizontal position because you don't have the assistance of that incline to get you up and over. Now, just like the pullover crunch and the oblique crunch, the standard crunch was also more challenging when the board was in this horizontal position. No real difference with the chest stretch, whether your board is on an incline or in this horizontal position. And just to be fair, they do include the triceps stretch as one of the exercises that you can perform horizontally or in that incline position. It's really going to be the same thing. I mean, I guess the only benefit with it in the horizontal position is it might be easier for some people to get up and off the glide board. Next, I'll cover exercises you can do in an inverted position. Another benefit of the horizontal glide board comes into play when doing inverted exercises or when your head is down toward the bottom of your glide board. The horizontal glide board fully supports your head and your neck in that inverted position, which may be a benefit to you if you experience neck strain when performing certain exercises like a bicep curl, for example. This horizontal surface is also great if you do get dizzy when performing those inverted exercises. By having this horizontal surface, you can keep your head above your heart, so that's going to help reduce the chances of getting dizzy when coming up off your total gym. Now, Now both the inverted front raise and the iron cross both felt very similar regardless of the position of the glide board. However, I did notice on the front raise it did feel just a little bit more challenging, and I think that's because you lose the leverage that you have when the glide board is in that inverted or that angled position. Another thing I noticed is in this horizontal position with the front raise, you do lose a little bit range of motion. I think that's just because of the angle of the glide board, and you can't get your arms back quite as far as you can when the board is on that angled position. For both the inverted bicep curl and the bicep curl with the half rollback, both of the exercises felt great regardless of the position of the glide board. Now for the sit-up with cables, the exercise did feel pretty similar when I kept my feet down on the glide board, but when I went into that jackknife version, it was much more challenging for me to keep my balance when the glide board was in that horizontal position. I had to lean back just a little bit more to keep my balance, but you probably could see me kind of wobbling side to side, trying to keep my balance. For the inverted sit-up and crunch, I really didn't notice much of a difference between having the glide board horizontal or on a slanted position. The only thing I did notice is when I was doing those full sit-ups with the board in a horizontal position, my body was sliding a little bit forward, so I kind of felt like my rear end was going to fall off the top of the glide board, but obviously it didn't. You might have to readjust yourself. So that, I would say, was one negative of having the glide board in the horizontal position. Something interesting with these leg curls, when I was fully reclined on the glide board, the exercise actually felt more challenging when the board was in this horizontal position, but when I was sitting upright doing the leg curl, it actually felt easier when the glide board was in the horizontal position. So it's just interesting to note that obviously changing the angle of the glide board affects the position of your body and can also change how the exercise actually feels. Next, exercises facing toward the column. So for all these different row variations, really not a lot of difference in terms of how the exercise feels. You can either have it in this horizontal position like I have here, or on the incline. I don't think you're going to really notice too much of a difference. For the reverse flies, again, I don't see too much of a difference between having the board on an incline or in this horizontal position. Maybe with the horizontal position, I feel like my posture is a little bit more upright. That's really the only difference that I notice between the two different variations. For the shoulder extensions, very similar to what I said about the reverse flies. Not a lot of difference in the exercise, whether you have your glide board angled or in a horizontal position. Now with the outer hip and thigh exercise, there definitely was a difference in the way the exercise feels. When the glide board is slanted, your hips are a little bit lower than your feet, but when it's in the horizontal position, your hips are about the same height as your feet, maybe a little bit higher. So when you're pressing out, your feet are actually pressing downward as well. So I wouldn't say one version is better than the other. They both felt great. It's just a matter of personal preference. Both the biceps curl and the forearm curl felt very similar, regardless of the position of the glide board. But the one advantage of the horizontal position is it can help you sit up a little bit taller, and it also may be easier for some people to get on and off the glide board. For both the kneeling and lying triceps kickback, the exercises felt really very similar regardless of the position of the glide board. For these 3 toe touch exercises, I felt the exercises all felt pretty much the same. However, I did prefer it with the board in this horizontal position. I felt like I could get a deeper stretch on the back side of my legs. Now the surfer row is one of my favorite exercises. It's a great compound exercise to not only work your back, but also your shoulders and your triceps as well at the same time. Now with that being said, I didn't really see much or feel much of a difference regarding the position of the glide board. So it felt great whether the glide board was in this horizontal position or if it was lowered all the way down. These next group of exercises are compound movements that work not only your lower body or the back of your legs, but also your upper body. They're pretty unique and I don't see them done very often. To perform them, you connect your wing attachment to the bottom of your rails as well as your cable to your glide board. That way you can work the upper body and lower body simultaneously. I'll try them out both with the glide board slanted and in this parallel position, and I'll let you know if I feel or see any differences. For these compound leg curls, I actually preferred having the board in this horizontal position. Overall, it felt more comfortable and I could have a more upright position on the glide board. And there you have it. All the exercises you can perform on the adjustable glide board with the Total Gym Evolve. Check out these videos next.